Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to look at unnamed variables and patterns in Java. So look at this code. It's a simple Java function which takes parameter orders. This order is our class or record type, which is iterable. Let's assume that this is array list. Inside this count method, we have total variable, integer variable total, which is initialized to 0, and we have for loop which iterates over orders. Inside this for loop, what we are doing is we are just incrementing this total using total plus plus. And in the end, we are returning this total. So if you look at this code, this is this for each loop in Java. This order variable is actually unused. We don't need this variable for further calculation. So this is where unnamed variable comes for our help. So unnamed variables reduce boilerplate code when side effects are our only concerns. These unnamed variables are used when we care only about operations side effect. So we are going to look at how we can improvise the code we have written previously. They can be defined as many times as needed, but they cannot be referenced from a later point. So once we declare them as unnamed, then we cannot use them in our code after that point. This feature is available in preview API of Java 21. So let's look at this rewritten code. And if you look at the for each loop rather, you can see we have used underscore instead of variable name order. So if you use underscore, then compiler comes to know that this is unnamed variable. So this is how we use unnamed variable. We can we can initialize simple loop, or rather we can use unnamed variable inside initialization of for loop also. If you look at this code, we have integer I, and we are going to use this integer variable I inside this for loop body. And you can see after comma we have a name variable, and there is assignment statement, and we are calling one method send acknowledgement. This method is going to get called only once, and the result of that method is somewhat we are not going to use further. So in that case, we can use this unnamed variable here also, because we are not going to refer or use result of this method. Next example, we can use assignment this unnamed variable in assignment operator if expression on the right hand side is not needed. So many times in our life, we in Java programmers life, we get this warning that these are unused variables. So this is one of the example where we have queue of integers. This queue of integer is actually nothing but coordinates x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, and we are having while loop. We are iterating over this while on over this queue. We are extracting coordinates one by one, and we are creating new point x using x and y coordinates retrieved from this queue. Now the third parameter z is actually we don't need. So we can assign unnamed variable for this variable. So it makes our code more readable. We can in fact actually use multiple, we can use it in multiple assignment statements also. So let's see if we in our constructor point, we only need x variable, then we can use unnamed variable instead of y also. So here we have used multiple unnamed variables in our multiple assignment statements. We can even use this unnamed variable in multiple catch blocks also. So many times we use try catch block, and we actually don't do anything with that exception, and we get this warning that this variable is unused. So for that, you can always use this unnamed variable. We can also, if you are aware of try with resources, that is resources with auto closable interface, then you can even use this unnamed variable inside this try with resources block. So what happens is most of the time this auto closable instance we don't need after once we initialize it. Uh, so in that context, we can use this unnamed variable whenever we are creating, whenever we are using this try with resources, we are initializing that resource in your try block. So this is how we can use unnamed variable. So you can use most of the time when we use lambda expression. There are times when we are actually not interested in lambda parameter. So in that case also you can use unnamed variable instead of using any variable name. So in switch case and whenever we use instance of in Java, there also you can use this unnamed pattern variable, just like shown in an example. So suppose we have a ball variable and we have, let's say, uh, red ball, blue ball, green ball, or inherited from this abstract ball class. Then this actually works, and we can use unnamed pattern variable. So we are basically ignoring the left hand side of the case, and we are only interested in processing of the ball based on the parameter. So last case is the unnamed pattern. The unnamed pattern is an unconditional pattern that matches anything but declares and initializes nothing. Like the unnamed type pattern variable underscore, the unnamed pattern can be nested in record pattern. So in this example, you can see we have a name pattern declared on a left hand side, where we have box variable. We are passing red ball. So we are trying to match the pattern, and on right hand side, we are passing the parameter. So this is how we use a name parameter. So if you are liking the content, please like, share, subscribe, so that more and more people will get to know about this channel. Thanks for watching my video.